Did you ever wonder what happened immediately to Kylo Ren after the end of the Last Jedi film? Well, you've come to the right place. Let's talk about it in this video. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue podcast. I just finished reading Star Wars Legacy of Vader, The Reign of Kylo Ren, Volume 1, and let me tell you, Charles Soule knows exactly how to write Kylo Ren. This isn't the erratic, tantrum throwing Kylo Ren from The Force Awakens. This is the supreme leader, deep in the shadows of his grandfather, his power, wrestling with who he is and what it means to carry the name and the legacy of Vader. This book follows Kylo Ren right after The Last Jedi. He's just taken over the First Order, and in true Kylo Ren fashion, he's not content with simply ruling. He wants to understand what made his grandfather the true Darth Vader. So when a familiar face from the old Empire, Vanny, Vader's creepy assistant, shows up, Kylo lets himself be led on a twisted pilgrimage through his grandfather's legacy. They go from the scorched hellscape of Mustafar to the sands of Tatooine, all the way to the haunted beauty of what's left of Naboo. Each of these stops forces Kylo to confront a different aspect of Anakin's life, his rise, his fall, his attachments, his power. It's almost like watching him walk through a museum built from Vader's sins. And Soul uses that to really just strip Kylo down emotionally. You can feel the anger simmering just beneath his composure. You can feel the weight of the obsession and the fear that maybe, just maybe, he's not strong enough to surpass the very shadow that he worships. Luke Ross and Stefano Raffaele absolutely nailed the visuals. The atmosphere in every location hits very hard. Mustafar practically burns off the page, while Naboo feels somber and tragic because of everything that's happened there. Both artists do something really special, especially when it comes to Kylo Ren's expressions. They actually managed to capture a lot of the nuances that Adam Driver had in his performance: the haunted eyes, the quiet rage, the flicker of doubt, his physicality. It's pretty uncanny. And I think when you do something, an adaptation from something that is live action, you either have to really lean hard into those things or you have to fully stay away from a lot of that. There's no in between, there's no middle of the road. There's a sequence in Tatooine where he faces off against a Rancor in Gardula's old arena. It's big, it's bombastic, but what is interesting is how it's framed. It's not the fighting to prove dominance, he's fighting to prove that he's worthy of his lineage. Every action scene doubles as an internal conflict. In the first time we go to Mustafar, he's attacked by some bandits, and I think this is what was on the page, the context that we were getting. As he is shot with some arrows, he's about to let them hit him. He doesn't want to be alive anymore. But ultimately, because of that same self-doubt and that rage that drives him, he does stop everything and faces his attackers. By the time we reach Naboo, Kylo's journey starts to feel like more of like less of self-discovery and more like just indoctrination. Vanny's influence continues to grow, whispering Vader's ideals into his ear, until you realize that this entire pilgrimage may have been just him manipulating him all along. We still don't know what Vanny's intentions are. Now, if you're not familiar with Vanny, he was Vader's assistant. The book really brings you into that, specifically that free comic book day issue that is attached at the beginning of this volume. So this volume contains the free comic book day along with the first 6 issues of the series. And even though that this all may be manipulation, Kylo embraces it. He doesn't just learn from Vader's past, he claims it. He becomes both heir, imitator, determined to finish what his grandfather started, even if that destroys him. I think Soule's writing really balances the deep lore with a tight, character driven narrative. These are callbacks for longtime fans, right? You get Fortress Vaders, you get Naboo's aftermath under the Empire, you get the references to the old Imperial Church of the Dark Side, but it never really feels like fan service. It all really feels like it is in service to Kylo's arc instead. You could read this without any deep Star Wars knowledge and still feel every beat of this emotional unraveling. And I think that's what makes this work. I mean, I would say you probably at least want to watch the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi. But even then, you don't need to. Like Charles Soule really includes everything that you need to know. I think Soule's understanding of Kylo as a tragic figure, um, and they're really right. This is the first time that in comics where we really see Ben Solo's kind of transformation into the cold controlled supreme leader, not as a villain caricature, but just as a human being tearing himself apart to let go of his past. I do have to mention this. Both artists build such strong atmosphere. You can almost hear the silence in certain panels. You can the quiet scenes almost hit harder than some of the fights because of those emotional moments. There's a moment on Naboo where Kylo stands in the ruins of Padme's old village without a single word. You could just kind of there's a lot happening there in those few panels, in that little sequence. Almost thinking about what could have been. Can you imagine if Kylo had just grown up in a world that uh, was not treated by the Empire? I mean, you can think of all the possibilities. Maybe his parents wouldn't have met, but that's really not neither here nor there. And I think that's where the series really shines. It's not about redemption. It's about descent. It's about a man who mistakes pain for power, legacy, and destiny. So yeah, Charles Soule writes a great Kylo Ren. He's just one of the all-time best Star Wars writers, in my opinion. Full of internal turmoil and angst, the emotions of every location really come through the page. The art complements that perfectly, pulling you deeper and deeper into his madness. So if you're a longtime fan, there's plenty of here for you to sink your teeth into. And if you're new, this is a short story that really focuses enough to pull you in and make you care. Uh, my one small little tiny complaint is that for some reason this issue number 6 and 7 are actually kind of a two little piece arc of the story, and they're not collected together. So once you finish with 6, you'll be like, well, what's going on? So you have to get the next one. But that's the only thing. It's really about more about the formatting of the collection. Legacy of Vader, the Reign of Kylo Ren, is more than just a tie-in comic. It's a slow, searing story and a look at how obsession can consume one's identity. And those are the major themes that follow along with Kylo Ren. And by the end, you're truly left wondering, at least in this first volume, if Kylo Ren truly became Darth Vader's heir, or he's just another echo lost in a shadow of legend. So, if you think any of that sounds great, make sure to go pick up Legacy of Vader, Volume One, the Reign of Kylo Ren. Um, I had a really good time with the series. I can't wait to keep reading, but I wanted to make sure that I had a video for you guys to go pick it up. Charles Soule, as I mentioned, one of the best, most prolific, not just comic book writer, but Star Wars writers, and the art team along with him, just really bring the story to life in such a beautiful way. If you like this video and you want me to do some more Star Wars videos or any other things, I am working on something else for Charles Soule, for his Eddie Brock Carnage book. Let me know. Hit the bell, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And as always, thank you for watching. We have a lot more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Bye bye.